my God. I remember I was at work when she texted me and she told me, and I was like, what? Like, what? Where did he even see that? Like, what? Like, where do you even learn something? Like that. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been a while since I have done a video like this one. Sorry, just ate some of Elliot's snacks, so I feel like I'm trying to burp. One of the compliments of pregnancy. So, but anyway, how are you guys doing? There's so much that have been going on, and I feel like I needed to come and just do like a update. And don't get me wrong, like, I love YouTube, I love doing YouTube, but sometimes in life gets busy and you just have to redirect your focus and your energy. And with being pregnant, I don't have a lot of energy and I'm a working mom. I work full-time. I'm also a full-time mom and I'm a full-time wife. So there's a lot of things that I juggle and there's a lot of things that I do. And pregnancy takes a lot of energy, and still running a household, dealing with kids, dealing with special needs, dealing with a special needs child, it just takes a lot, and it's a lot of stuff that you have to juggle. So it's just been a lot that's been going on. And I do YouTube not just because I want to share my life and tell people what's going on in my life. It's more so, it's therapeutic for me, because I'm one of those people who, when I talk about things, I tend to work through it a little better and I tend to move past it a little better, and it's not something that I'm holding on inside of me, and it's not something that is like I'm scared to share, you know? So it's just good for me to create content around things that is going on in my life that I'm either struggling with or that I'm excited about and so forth. So I apologize because Emmett is downstairs. He's watching TV, so you're gonna hear his TV, because I'm currently sitting at my dining table, and I was like, I might as well just do it. Literally just got home from work not too long ago and I picked up the boys, so we are home. I'm also making dinner. So there's a lot of stuff that's happening, and this camera looks a little crooked. So let's see if I can figure out my life, y'all. I don't know. Oh, y'all. Okay. So, updates with me. We're currently 30 weeks. So, I turned 30 weeks pregnant today. I'm so excited. We don't know what we're having, but truth be told, it really does not matter, because I'm just praying for a healthy baby, a healthy delivery, and just overall good health. That's all I want is. Initially, I really wanted a girl, but then now I'm at a space where I'm like, it does not matter what I get. As long as it's healthy, and I am healthy, and I can manage, that's good enough for me, you know? Like, that's it. Girl, boy, healthy. That's all I want. 10 fingers, 10 toes, 2 ears. We're good. That's all. So, but yeah, this baby is definitely moving and kicking a lot more than either one of my 2 boys did when I was pregnant with them. So I feel like this one is definitely going to be a fun one. Hopefully it's not a very, very busy one, but I feel like it's just, I was wondering today, I'm like, does this kid take a nap during the day? Because I've been feeling you all day long while working. And funny story, I was working with one of my patients and I was standing really close to her, and this baby kicked so hard that she looked down at my belly and she was like, I felt that. And we both started laughing. I was like, I'm telling you, this child does not stop kicking. It's crazy. Why are you so active? But I guess it's a healthy baby, so we'll take it. Gary's doing great, still working. Everything's going great on that part. Emmett is doing really, really well, running his mouth. Elliot is doing a lot of talking, a lot more sentences, and just expressing himself a lot more. But then at the same time too, which is one of the main reasons why I wanted to create this video, is just like updates on Elliot, because yes, I share a lot with my family about my family and things like that on this channel, but ultimately the reason why I created this channel was to share more of my autism journey with people who are interested in that kind of stuff. So right now with Elliot, we have been struggling a lot, like a lot. It's been a struggle, and it's been a lot of new behavioral stuff that he is currently dealing with. Like, so back up a little bit. Elliot has been on a gluten-free and dairy-free diet for a while. So I'll probably say like a few months ago, we started to be a little bit more relaxed on his diet. So we started to let him have things like cinnamon rolls that was not gluten-free. It might have been like organic, like the little Annie's one, but definitely not gluten-free and definitely not dairy-free. And he loves those kind of stuff. He loves cinnamon rolls. And as he's been getting older, he's been wanting to try new food. So we've been more relaxed on things like that, like trying to get him to eat chicken, trying to get him to eat French fries, because he really does not care about those kind of food. So we've been a little bit more open and willing to allow him to try these things and not restrict him as much. But we have had a lot of behavioral issues that have, I don't know if it's necessarily related to the diet, or if it is also just related to changes in his body as he is developing. And then also recently I found out that the kid is loaded up with cavities. So, and there was a while there where he had a lot of pain in one of them, and like literally he could not chew on that side of his mouth because it hurt him so bad. But there have just been like behavioral issues like hidden. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, he never used to hit, and now he's starting to hit, not so much like himself, but like other people. And it's not like he's hitting like hard, but he is hitting, and you will notice that you got hit. It's not painful, but it is intentional. And when he does hit, and it's not just like people in the house, he's also doing it at school. He did it on the school bus with the conductor, which makes it really, really hard because it's just a lot of problems in that area. And it just complicates things a lot more because I'm not used to it and I don't quite know what to do with it. So at school, and I don't know if I can say like this all started because I registered him for an after school program, and the after school program is more like with neurotypical kids. And initially we thought he was gonna be not interested in the after school program, so we wanted to ease him into it by doing the 1 day a week, and then progressing to 2 days, and then progressing to 3 days, and so forth. Turns out he loved the after school program. This camera is still a cricket, y'all, and I don't know what to do with it. Okay. Anyway, I think that's gonna be good enough for now. So it turns out he loves the after school program, but then loved it too much to where when I went to pick him up, he never wanted to come home. He would cry, he would throw a tantrum. So I don't know if it was just because he loved the after school program, or if it was more so because there was no restriction on like tablet, because at home I restrict the amount of time that he have watching tablet and TV and things like that. Whereas when I went to pick him up from the after school program, he always had his tablet with him. So it's hard to know if he was really like enjoying being there with other kids, or if he was just enjoying the fact that they didn't bother restricting him as much as mommy does when he's home. So most of the behavioral thing came up after I initiated this after school program, the new behaviors now. And then, so now, that's my oven. I think Emmett pizza is done. So now he's been going to the after school program. We've been struggling with school because there are good days and there are bad days. Like, there are good days where he gets like 14 out of 14, which is like the rating that they do in school for like to show how exactly it is that he was able to do his schoolwork, clean up after his schoolwork and things like that. And then there are days where he's like 7 and a 9. And I'm not saying like those are bad days, but those are just harder days because those are the days where behaviors prevent him from doing his ultimate best in school. But it's just really challenging because now I am trying to figure out like all of the different resources that I can possibly tap into to help him understand what it is that he's feeling and learn how to better handle his emotion and his anger. So I've been looking into getting him into behavioral therapy. We recently started music lessons, so he's getting like piano lessons and things like that. We are going to be doing like horse therapy. That starts next month on the 1st or the 2nd, I think. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff that we are just trying to figure out ways in which we can help him to be able to just process his emotion better and just learn how to control that emotion a lot better, because he's not getting as like a switch, because there was a point where it was almost like there was a switch that was going off where it was like Elliot and then this angry person. But now since we have cut out all of the things that are that have gluten in it and that has dairy in it, since we have cut out all of that, we have not noticed like the switch between Elliot and this angry person. However, today I went to pick him up. I got a phone call. And apparently I missed the phone call, but I got a phone call from my sister that the after school program had been calling. I'm gonna go pick him up because he had an incident at school and he hit a teacher. And when I went to pick him up, it was just a lot, and it still is a lot, because I don't want to ever put my child in a situation that he's not ready for. However, the initial thought behind why we put him in this program was to help his social interactions with other kids, and also just to see how he would do in that setting, because in life we are not always in a setting where people are trained to deal with us and trained to deal with our breakdowns and things like that. Sometimes we are in settings where we have to learn how to control us. We have to learn how to interact with other people. It's not always other people have to learn how to interact with us. And I want to raise a kid who is able to adjust to those kind of things. Now, maybe I put him in that setting a little too early, but however, today we had an incident where he was upset about something, and according to the teacher, he hit her, and she was very, very scared. Elliot is 6 years old. Now, I know Elliot hits, so that part is not a question. Because I asked him, I said, Elliot, did you hit your teacher? He said, yes. I said, Elliot, how many times did you hit your teacher? He said, 2 times. He's like, I'm very sorry that I hit my teacher, Mommy. I was just upset. And I'm like, Elliot, when you get upset, we don't hit. However, the part that was just a little, unsettling for me was the part where she was very scared, because I'm like, okay. Anyway, that is not, like, her emotions is not my focus. My focus is on my kid, so that's what my focus is, and that's what my focus is going to be. But it's just hard to process that, you know, like, just very, very hard to process that. And it just brings up a lot of things that is now happening in the US, and it just brings that to, like, my forefront. Like, could this be this way because of who Elliot is, or what Elliot is, or how Elliot looks? Would you feel the same if he did not look a certain way? It's just things like that that just comes to your mind. Now, I don't know that for a fact, so I cannot speak on that, but that's just the kind of stuff that comes to my mind. So after that incident today, I was like, you know what, maybe the after school program is not the right space for him, because this is not like the first incident I've had with them. This is actually the third. So I'm like, okay, 3 strike, we're good. So I just feel like moving forward, I am gonna focus more on maybe getting someone to come to the house and spending time with him here, like when I'm at work and he gets off the school bus, that kind of stuff. And then also just continuing like the behavior therapy, continuing the music lessons, and then see how the horse therapy plays into it, and see if we can really get some improvement in that. But so far, hold on one second, yo, let me check Emmett's Pizza. Here's my bump, guys. 30 weeks. 30 weeks. But yeah, so far we have seen a lot of improvement with just changing his diet. So we're definitely gonna stay on that path. Like last night, Gary was saying, we used to brag so much about how much we saw Elliot improve when we took him off gluten and we took dairy out of his diet. When he was much younger, I don't know what the hell we're thinking about allowing him to get back into those things, or just being more lax on his diet and allowing him to eat those things. So we're definitely gonna stay on that path, and hopefully we see a lot more improvement on with his behavior with all of these therapies. Now, we did the behavior therapy. We have had 1 session so far, and it went great. Like, he really loved it. He wanted to go back again. Unfortunately, our second session had to be canceled because of situations that was beyond the provider control. But hopefully we can go back again next week, and we'll continue to have some progress in there. But it's just a lot, you know. Like, I always tell people, like, autism is a roller coaster, and truly, autism is a roller coaster. It's like you have your peaks and you have your valley, and then you go up and you come down. It's always something. It is always, always, always something. And just constantly, you have to constantly pay attention and just document, because that's another thing that we've been doing too, is like documenting things that are helpful, documenting things that are not helpful. Because yes, I want Elliot to be functionally adult. That is my ultimate goal, is I want this kid to be able to get a job. Well, first I want him to learn how to drive, graduate school, get a job, move out, do what it is that he wants to do to be happy, be able to care for himself, be able to, you know, like, have a life. Like, I want him to have the best life possible. And I want him to be able to adjust to life and not just want life to be a certain way. And I just want him to be happy, you know, like I want him to have it all. Like all of it. All of it. The same thing that I want for Emmett is the same thing that I want for Elliot. And it's just sometimes you get in, like you get to these roadblocks, or what seems like a roadblock at that time, and it just makes you look at it like, is this really going to be possible? Or it makes you ask yourself, like, is it time for us to consider medication? And for a point there, I was really debating that. I was like, because this hitting is getting ridiculous. Like, the one time he took his clothes off in school and was throwing it at his teacher. And I was like, oh my God. I remember I was at work when she texted me and she told me, and I was like, what? Like, what? Where did he even see that? Like, what? Like, where do you even learn something like that? Like, please comment below, like, if you have a kiddo who is autistic and you have had to deal with similar situations, because God, and what was helpful, like what helped you out, because he's talking a lot more, definitely is talking a lot more, and that within itself is a blessing, because being able to express himself is such a key part, because that has been a blessing. But just certain things, I'm like, where are you getting it from? Where? You know? But yeah, so that's what's going on, y'all. That's where we're at. We are adjusting to new behaviors and just trying to work them out, and hoping and praying that the new therapy approaches are going to be helpful, because God, it just, sometimes it just becomes much, you know? Like, I always say this to myself, like, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. And I can do this too. That's it. That's basically what I say to myself. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. And I don't have to be strong enough.